3, 2, 1. Yo, what's happening, guys? It's your boy Wolfie here. We are back. Now, the first thing you want to do on this video, as always, is hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and also hit that bell so you do get a notification every time I do drop a brand new video. And of course, last but not least, my Twitch channel is down in the description below, www.twitch.tv/Connor Woolf. If you want to go drop that follow, I will love you guys forever. I stream all of my weekend league games, all of my RTG, all of my good stuff, etc. is streamed on my Twitch channel. So please make sure, if you want to keep updated with a lot of live stuff, etc., make sure you go and drop my Twitch channel a follow. And of course, last but not least, my Twitter is also down in the description below, www.twitter.com/ConnorWolf1995. If you want to go drop that a follow, you will keep updated with a lot of my private life, etc., with what's going on, etc., with the, I keep saying etc., with what's going on with the RTG, and also you'll know what videos are coming out a day earlier than everyone else as well. So, if you want to keep updated with all of that good stuff, make sure you go and drop my Twitch and my Twitter a follow. Now, plug over. What we have got for you today, ladies and gentlemen, is a very good video. Kind of like a podcast type video. Not really much gameplay analysis, just some general gameplay tips and some general mental tips that will help you get that elite rank in FUT Champions without a shadow of a doubt, in my opinion, because it's what everyone wants, okay? Everyone that, unless you are a pro player, you are pushing to try and get elite, whether it's elite 3, elite 2, elite 1. You are trying to push to get elite in FUT Champs. Let's be real. You guys aren't playing here for gold 2, gold 3, gold 1. Well, maybe gold 1. But everyone wants to go, right, what are we going for at the most? We're going for elite. We want elite in the back. We don't want gold 2. We don't want to stop at gold 3 every week because we can't get elite. No. We want to push on and see what we can do in those elite brackets at the end of the day. So what I'm going to do for you, no like arrows on the screen, etc. So I've got my list on my phone, so I keep looking at my phone. No arrows on the stream, on the video, etc. Kind of just general tips and general mental tips that you can do. There's 5 steps that I do 100% believe in, that if you follow these steps, you will get elite in FUT Champs without a shadow of a doubt. No ifs and buts or maybes, just absolutes. Like when that Liverpool fan says Sadio Mane is the best player in the world. Absolutes. This is absolute. You do these 5 steps, I promise you, you will get elite in FUT Champions. And if you don't, you can come say, Wolfie, I didn't get elite in FUT Champions and I blame you. End of story, okay? So, tip number 1. Now, what you got to do is with these is obviously change them in terms of the scenario of the games. These aren't going to always be the same scenario. This will change on a game-by-game basis because FIFA does change on a game-by-game basis. Yes, you can play the same style of FIFA, but FIFA does change on a game-to-game basis depending on what your opponent is playing, what formation your opponent is playing. But these 5 fundamental things don't change, in my opinion, too much. I feel like they are top dog, bang, they don't change. So, though, tip number 1, and that is DEFENDING. I hope to God I didn't mess that up. Defending. Do not dive in. Don't dive in with your centre-backs. I promise you on this game, you don't need to dive in with your centre-backs. You need to stay composed. Think about it. Think in your head, what would your opponent do with his attack? If you were your opponent, what would you do in that situation? And try and mirror it with the defender. Don't overcompensate and overcommit with your defending on FIFA 21 because it just doesn't work. Okay? What you need to do is, as well, is if you are holding the jockey button, so L2, you do still need to press circle to tackle the ball. I know you guys, on FIFA, a lot of the general time, you didn't have to press circle to tackle if you're holding jockey. This FIFA, you do. So if you want to win that ball, you're going to have to press circle, I'm afraid. End of story. Also, try not to drag your centre-backs out of position too much. The moment you start doing this and doing that, I really do believe you're in for a bad time. Try and keep your centre-backs in this. I know it sounds basic, but keep your centre-backs in the centre-back position as much as you possibly can. Try and run around with your CDMs. And if you want to start pressing people, press with your fullbacks. If you see how I play and how I defend, I press massively with my fullbacks. My fullbacks are my friends, okay? Always use that expression, your fullbacks are your friends. The moment you start thinking and saying that, you're onto a winner, believe you me. Ronaldo probably should have scored that for Tom. So yeah, that's with the defending. Don't dive in. Your fullbacks are your friends. Try not to drag your centre-backs out of position. Cut the passing lanes with your CDM and centre mids as much as you possibly can. And just think to yourself, what would your opponent do if you were your opponent? So what would you do in this situation? How would you attack? Okay, tip number 2. This is a tip that I still to this day need to focus on, man, and need to improve on. And that is staying composed at all times. Honestly, if you guys have seen my weekend league streams, you know my head does go. And there's not a lot I can do. I try for the head not to lose. Try for my head not to go. I tried to stay composed, but it just doesn't work, man. I tried. But I'm fortunate enough to be good enough at the game that if my head still goes, I will still sometimes more than likely still get top 100, still get Elite 1 guaranteed, you know. You guys won't be like me. You guys won't be able to do that. So trying to stay composed is a huge, huge thing. You need to remember, the moment you lose your head and start playing angry, it's GG's, man. It's game over, because there's no coming back from that. You will concede a goal, and then all of a sudden, you'll think to yourself, oh no, bang. And then you get yourself in a circle. You'll get angry because you're angry, and then you'll get angry because you're losing, which will make you then get more angry. Get it? Going around in circles, okay? I know it's annoying, and I know staying composed at all times is such an underrated thing. Weekend League for me is honestly about 100% mental. Like, maybe not 100%. It's about 95% mentality and about 5% skill. Especially on a FIFA like this, I don't see a huge skill gap in FIFA 21 at this moment in time. So the mentality is definitely an area that you guys should be looking to improve. Stay composed. Try not to care. Okay, it's a big thing that I do. Number 3, watch for keeper movement. When you are going through on goal, you don't need to watch your own play. You know where you're running to, okay? So watch your opponent's keeper and see if he's starting to move. Take that half a second extra long. Take that half a second. Wait, take that extra half a second, because the moment you take that extra half a second, you can see, is your opponent moving the keeper? If he is, bang, you can just shoot it in the opposite direction that he's not, yeah, you know what I mean. So if your opponent moves the keeper, take the extra half second to see where he's moved to, just shoot in the opposite corner. Simple as that. Simple as that. Keeper movement, if not done well, is very easy to counter-attack, believe you me. And you remember what I said, you don't need to look at your player when he's going clean through on goal. You don't. And remember, if your opponent starts moving the keeper very early on, remember that for the rest of the game. Remember that the obvious shot might not actually be the good shot. Try and do the unorthodox shot because you know he's a keeper mover, okay? Now, tip number 4. Add skill moves into your game. This is going to change as well because I'm going to have a skill move tutorial out for you. Hopefully, tomorrow's video will be a skill move tutorial. My first one at FIFA 21. I know you guys are gassed for that. But add the elastico into your game. You know, the cancelling of the skill moves, the free touch roulette, the fake shot stop into the cricketer. If you can start adding these things into your game, you're going to be on to a winner, believe you me. Especially on FIFA 21. Skill moves on FIFA 21 are a very, very big thing. You won't go far wrong with learning some skill moves, believe you me. And if you want to learn some, watch tomorrow's YouTube video. And last but not least, number 5, don't focus on the record. I feel like people get too caught up and too gung-ho on focusing on their record. Your record won't change, okay? What you're on right now is what you're on. You don't need to think about it. You know what you're on. Just think to yourself, if I win this game, sorted. If I win next game, sorted. Always just play the game you're in. Try and forget about the previous game. I know a lot of you guys will be like me. You take an undeserved loss and you carry that into about 2 or 3 games later. You don't need to, man. I promise you. So them 5 tips right there are for me. If you can learn all 5 of them, you'll get elite comfortably. Maybe even start pushing up into them elite 2 categories. They're 5 fundamental things that don't change on FIFA. They stay the same. They've been consistent since FIFA 17. So learn them, okay? Defending, don't dive in, etc. Number 2, stay composed at all times. Number 3, watch for keeper movement. That's been a big thing since FIFA 19, okay? When your opponent isn't very good at moving the keeper, you'll be able to take advantage, believe you me. Number 4, add skill moves into your game. Add a bit of unpredictability into your attacking play. Add some unpredictabilities into your passing lanes. Don't always pass it to the same player that you normally would. Try and mix it up a little bit. And then number 5, of course, don't focus on the record. People can get really too caught up on their record and it's just not worth it, okay? Take every game as it comes, 1 game at a time. Simple as that. And that right there, guys, if you follow them 5 tips, you will get elite, I promise you that. And that right there is going to be the end of the video, guys. If you did enjoy this, please make sure to hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Make sure to go and drop my Twitch and my Twitter a follow also. And I'll see you next time. Peace.